as well. Real quick, while we're here with it, we should just mention that. Let's see, the Tory Lanez motion for a new trial was denied. I told you guys that I don't know why this was becoming a big deal in the media. It was going to be denied. Like, it just didn't make sense. Now, a lot of people thought I was switching up on Tory, but I'm sorry. Like, I have a brain, okay? I'm just no blind follower. Tory was asking for a new trial to the same judge who sat there for weeks and months and years presiding over this case, and they wanted in a motion at the last minute. The game is already over. Niggas pouring Gatorade on the coaches. They wanted the judge to say, "Oh yeah, I officially," because the judge is like a referee. They wanted the referee to say, "Oh yeah, I referee this whole game wrong. Let's play it again." Like, bro, like you should know that wasn't gonna happen. So this chapter has now come to a close, and Megan Cunniff has been covering it. By the way, also salute to Milagros and them. Like, I don't know if there was some static between all of them. Like, I seen Milagros is in court. Let me see if I can. Here we go. What's Milagros' Instagram? Milagro Grams. Milagro. Okay. I think this. Okay, I think this is her. Is this her? Yeah, it is. Let me see. So, I watched this. This was like right after they announced that the motion was denied. Here's our lovely friend Milagros.
Hey, you guys. So I'm here. Obviously, it wasn't a long time. So, they did deny everything. That's really not a shock because they weren't giving the nigga a chance anyway. So that's what happened. Okay? One more time. They denied everything. They will be sentencing Tory. He will have to go to jail and he will appeal. To answer your questions, appeals take years. There's no way to fast track an appeal.
I'll definitely say though, Milagro seems very emotionally invested in this, which, by the way, I love Tory too. Like, I fuck with Tory. Like, when I go to Miami, I use the studio. You know what I mean? But also, shit, you can't do nothing if you can't do nothing. You get what I'm saying? I've said from the get-go since the verdict came out, hey, whether, I wasn't in court, I felt the verdict would have went the other way. But I do know if he has any chance of getting out soon, it's going to be through appeal. It appears like Milagros went to this motion for a new trial thing, and I think she was covering it. Obviously she's been connected to this case definitely as well. But she's definitely a big Tory Lanez supporter, But yeah, she definitely looks super disappointed. I didn't have high hopes for this whole motion for new trial thing. So
he will have to sit in jail at least maybe 1 or 2 years. It's not speedy. It's not speedy. So, as I told you guys, don't be defeated. I think that it's good that someone above this nigga, this judge, can look at this situation because clearly all these hoes incompetent. And yeah, that's how I feel. I feel like it's a good thing. Yeah, I feel like it's a good thing because now we can go up over his head and them people up there seem like they got more motherfucking sense. Okay? So, the only thing that's a negative is the fact that it's not overnight. Ain't no amount of money you can pay. Ain't no way to fast track that. It's a process. And that just is what it is. It don't matter how much money you done made or who you are. Appeals take time. So, that's that. That's that. And there are a lot of people that are going to be happy about this. But like I said before, war has been declared on your black ass. And if you don't see that shit, then bitch, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. Like, your life is in danger. It's been in danger. You don't stand a fucking chance. So, we'll see. And it's not the end of the world. It's discouraging and it sucks, yes. But we all knew it was possible. And with the way that these hoes was acting, who's surprised?
Okay, so let me put a few things in perspective, right? Because and again, salute to Milagros. I think she does an amazing job. But everything she's saying here is gonna is kind of clouded in emotion a bit. We're not getting details. I'll give you some more details. The judge essentially ruled. They try to say, "Yo, Tory got bad advice from different counsels." He had Sean Hawley, then another, then George Mejvin, which they came to court, and which you gotta realize there's a PR look on all this too, right? Remember, right after the trial ended, they said that Tory would not be blaming his lawyers. Well, they went to the court and blamed the lawyers. They said Tory they pretty much had ineffective counsel, and they said that the first lawyer, there was a conflict of interest. That's why they filed something in seal to kind of explain that conflict, which I don't know what that conflict still is. But they're saying that his lawyer didn't give him proper legal advice, and basically they were saying that if they could have done it again, he would have taken the stand. The judge basically shut it down and said, "Yo, you're picking your lawyer. You had enough time. You had 2 years actually more than that, to think about these decisions because this was going to trial, and you didn't take the stand. Like, we're not about to just do this over because now you want to talk." And a lot of people now believe that Tory should have taken the stand, even though most legal minds and most lawyers would say don't put your client on the stand. They also brought up another particular situation. They said, "Yo, well, this whole thing was biased against Tory. And it was biased against Tory because he was referred to in court multiple times by his stage name. Now, his real name is Daystar Peterson. But in court, they referred to him a lot by Tory Lanez. Like, Imagine imagine instead of calling Young Thug Jeffrey Williams, which is his real name, imagine if the court kept referring to him as Young Thug. If a juror heard someone repeatedly being referred to by a stage name, they might already get an innate bias to say, well, the nigga's name is Thug. Like, I would imagine he's a thug, right? So they were saying that Tory, the judge shouldn't have allowed it and should have checked it, that he shouldn't have been referred to by a stage name by the prosecution. Here's what the judge said. The judge said, "Okay, that's a fair point, but I'm going to deny it because the defense, you guys, called him Tory Lanez too. If you don't want them to call him Tory Lanez, why did y'all call him Tory Lanez?" Again, not only do I think that there's one piece of evidence I keep telling you that its best chance to get Tory out of jail is going to be on appeal, but it's saying that the judge should have never allowed that 80-minute tape of Kelsey to be played. So let me tell you how that went down and how the judge answered to it. They said to the judge, "Hey, judge, that shouldn't have been played." Remember, this is the judge who allowed it to be played. Like, they made a decision. Why did the judge allow it to be played? George Mejvin, which is, or I'm probably butchering his name, the second lawyer that Tory had, the guy who did the trial for Tory, he basically accused, in a roundabout way, so I'm not verbatim, he roundabout accused the prosecutors of pressuring witnesses to say what they wanted them to say. So they basically said, "Yo, Kelsey is here now to tell you she never seen Tory shoot nobody. She never seen Tory with a gun. And if you have anything of her saying otherwise, is because the prosecutor forced Kelsey to point at Tory." Now, they went so hard with that point. You got to imagine, in court, ethically, that is very low down. Like, I believe, like a prosecutor would definitely damn near almost get some severe punishment, maybe disbarment. I'm not too sure if that would carry any criminal penalties, but if you're getting Remember, the prosecutor is prosecuting this case for the best interest of the people. So the state represents the best interest of the people. You're not supposed to lie. You're supposed to be very honest about the evidence. That's why they have discovery. And also, they're not supposed to overcharge or maliciously charge. You're supposed to exercise discretion in fairness and also to seek the truth. Okay, if someone really did commit a criminal offense. So if a prosecutor is telling a witness like, yo, get up on the stand, or yo, just put it in statement that Tory did, that we could get him locked up. That's wild crazy. So Tory's lawyer said that in court. The prosecutor gets up, calls for a sidebar with the judge, and also it's addressed in open court too. The prosecutor says, that is the most disrespectful thing you could say to us. That accusation of us telling witnesses what to say to frame a guy. They said, Judge, because the defense claims we did that, and the jury heard what the defense said. So remember, it's all about what the jury hears. The prosecutor said, because at first they were not going to let that 80-minute thing from Kelsey play, the interview. They weren't going to let it play. But Tory's lawyer basically said that the prosecutor forced Kelsey to say some other shit before. And then the prosecutor got mad and also said, yo, they're trying to ruin the reputation of the office. And also the prosecutors, that didn't happen. We want you to reconsider that the jurors who just heard that, because you can't erase their memory. This ain't Men in Black. Give us an opportunity to play unedited the full interview clip with Kelsey, and the jury could then make up their own minds to say, are we forcing her? Was she under duress? Were we kind of asking and angling questions to make her give the answer about Tory? The judge actually agreed. The judge said, well, you basically accused them of forcing her to say something she didn't want to say. If they got the clip of what happened, play the whole clip. They played the whole clip, and it was horrible for Tory. You get what I mean? So basically, in takeaway from that, and by the way, they blamed the lawyer again. They said Tory's lawyer was too aggressive. You can't be too aggressive in court. So Tory's lawyer was literally saying, yo, these prosecutors are so corrupt, they're having people frame Tory. When you get that when you get that abrasive and aggressive, now things that were previously struck from being played in public court now becomes reconsidered by the judge, then it gets played. So essentially, the judge actually said, hey, I stand on my decision of why I allowed that thing to be played. So this is what they said in the denial of these motions. They said, yo, we stand on our decision, or the judge said, I stand on my decision to allow it to be played. Your lawyer attacked the prosecutor, saying they were basically framing you with telling Kelsey to say something in a prior interview that she never said. So I allowed them to play the interview. You can't mention the interview and then I not allow them mention the interview and make a broad claim and such a harsh claim like, oh, they were trying to get her to point at Tory. And when they have the full audio of that thing, why can't it be played then? So essentially, Tory lost on pretty much all counts here. Again, I think he needs to fight that interview being played in court, but you're not going to get the same judge who literally had sidebars with y'all and made all the decisions there to overturn it. It's going to have to be an appellate judge. So this is going to go to appeal. Tory's most likely going to get sentenced in the next 3 months. He's already in jail. He's going to get sentenced to prison. Now, this is going to start a whole long list of things. That means ICE will be notified that Tory Lanez, someone at least that we know is a Canadian resident, is now convicted officially and sentenced officially of a crime that's punishable by more than a year and a day, which is usually considered a felony. Once that's happened, they will be monitoring and also be in contact with, whatever the Bureau of Prisons for California is, that whenever Tory serves his time, they pick him up and they ship him to Canada. So Tory has a bunch of steps to try to make sure that doesn't happen. And I could imagine his new legal team, they're going to try everything. They're probably scoured over every fucking minute, they've scoured over every minute of court audio, transcripts, any tests that were done, crime scene photos. They got to try to find something. So that is what's left. Now, if I go to Megan Cuniff, if you're wondering how much time Tory is going to serve, the DA, I believe, has put in a recommendation. And let me see. Is it there? Let me see. Did I post it? Let me see. Keep in mind, Tory's facing up to 22 years and 8 months. This is if everything is run consecutively, which people believe that will not be the case. Let me see. DA bot, Tory Lanez. Essentially, okay. All right, just give me 1 second. Right here. So Tory will likely spend at least 9. All right. Oh, here we go. I think this is the DA right here. By the way, he was. You know why he's going for the jugular too? They attacked him so crazy, like they were going crazy on this nigga. They were saying he's biased, he's making shit up. So now he won. You think he about to, because the prosecutor recommends, right? The prosecutor is going to recommend a punishment. Not only that's going to happen, there's a possibility that Meg Thee Stallion most likely won't testify again. But this is sentencing, so it's not guilty or whatever. It's about the judge having discretion on how much time they're going to give Tory. They could give Tory anywhere from 7 to or maybe this is minimum, 9 to 22 years. Meg is probably going to write a letter, which is going to be perfectly written by Rock Nation. They're going to try to put that nigga beneath the jail cell. You feel me? And this is a guy who is going to be submitting it to the judge for their consideration. I'm pretty sure Tory's going to have his father. He's going to have maybe some rappers, record labels, pastors. He's going to have people try to write letters on his behalf saying he's not that bad of a person, hoping that it could appeal to the judge, and the judge is going to think about everything and give out this sentencing. Let's hear what this prosecutor got to say.
The sentencing range on this case is roughly 9 years all the way up to 22 years and 8 months.
So minimum is 9 years?
Yes, the minimum would be approximately 9 years. Now, the judge could theoretically stay certain allegations and get below that, but that would be preemptive.
Do you feel that's appropriate for the nature of the crime?
My job as a deputy district attorney is to enforce the laws as they're written by the legislature, so I don't really make those decisions.
I'm asking you as a human, not a...
So I would say that anytime you point a gun at somebody and pull the trigger 5 times, that's an action that could easily kill a person. I think that's an action that deserves serious consequences.
Damn. They're going to fry Tory. So he's kind of giving his position. Again, he tried to do I'm just I'm just here to work for the benefit of the people and blah, 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 whatever. But he basically said, if you fucking pull a trigger 5 times and you aim at somebody, you could have killed them and you deserve serious consequences. I believe through all the drama they've been through, I think they're going to recommend and they're going to hope that Tory gets, and I don't know what Tory's official record is in the sense of is he a felon? Remember, there was a whole thing during the trial about was he on probation? Remember, he said he was on probation, and they said, Tory wasn't on probation. So if Tory isn't, I think he's definitely a felon. Actually, I don't even know. But, actually, could he be a felon and still be in the United States? I don't know. Regardless of all of this, 9 years is still a lot, even if he doesn't have any charges on his record, right? But the more shit he has on his record, the more they're going to try to push for a more stiffer penalty. And also because he took it to trial. I was hearing about these rumors, not sure if it was ever substantiated, that there was pleas offered at certain points. But I've never heard confirmation from that from the DAs speaking about it, even though sometimes they won't necessarily come out and say it. But think about this now. Tory's going to get at least 9 years. He's going to have to serve at least 2 to 3 because even when they file an appeal, the appeal won't really be up for review until a few years. That's how backed up, especially California criminal system and the California judicial system is. So he's going to have to sit in prison for a bit. Also, how does that affect with ICE? Sometimes ICE will as soon as you serve a certain amount of your time, they'll pick you up. I don't know exactly what's going to happen here, but 9 years is a long time. I was hearing that he was offered like something below 5. It was supposedly something below 5. I think it was like 2 or 3, which again, Tory's disposition was this whole time, I didn't do it. You know what I mean? If somebody told you, yo, take 2 years, and you're adamant, like, I didn't do it and I didn't commit a crime, like, you're not going to take it. I would hope. Right? Like, that's different from like a speeding ticket. Sometimes a cop ever pulled you over and gave you a ticket for some shit that you're like, yo, I didn't even, like, it ain't all the way true. But you just resolve it by pleading to some shit you ain't even do just because you want to end it. This is different. This is years of your life. This is something that could affect your ability to provide for your child and also provide for the rest of your family. Also, jeopardize whether or not you can live in the United States or not. So this is very serious, and I think that's why he turned down. And if you ask me, this is me personally. I have no inside info knowledge about this. I think this is what happened. Again, I promise you, I did not. Y'all know with me when I'm telling you this is true. But beyond that, just like I predict the Dirk stuff or whatever, like, brother, like, not every time I have like some fucking source. If I do, I'll tell y'all if I have a source. But a lot of times it's just logical thinking, right? Like this whole thing with emotion, logical thinking. I personally think this will happen because, again, the way the case was going, I think, especially I think Tory did a really good job of putting some of the facts of the case that made reasonable doubt and Meg's character be in question. I think he did a really good job of putting that into the media. And it forced people to pay attention because they're like, yo, these facts right here doesn't sound like facts of a case that's open and shut. I think for a while, the DA may have, this is me just, I'm riffing, I'm thinking. I think the DA might have said, yo, it's probably better that we not take this to trial and get spanked, and who knows how this shit could have went. Let's just try to get a plea. We get a guilty plea, whatever. Hopefully we could get Meg happy. Also, I do think Rock Nation was putting pressure on them too. Rock Nation was like, yo, I think it happened in Cali too. Remember the Chris Brown situation? Yo, this is a big case. Y'all can't fumble it. Y'all can't fuck it up, and y'all can't let him off the hook. So I think Rock Nation, on behalf of Meg, was putting pressure on these niggas too. But I think they were probably floating around the idea of a plea. Cool. I think Tory thinks about the plea. And this is what I personally think. I believe Sean Hawley, which is the first, like, you have to Google who some of these people are. Sean Hawley. She was one of the attorneys on O.J. Simpson's Dream Team. So she was on the Dream Team defense. This is her right here, right next to Johnny Cochran. She's one of the best. I think she looks, by the way, great optic as well. You have a black woman. I didn't even know she was black till now. Holly sounded white to me, but she black. This is black, right? Yeah, she's black. You have a black woman defending you when a black woman's accusing you. Oh, that looks good for Tory. I think she tells Tory, yo, Tory, I'm gonna be honest with you. We have a shooting victim. She's alive. Remember, she kept having to go through these motions for gag orders too. She was the one that was dealing with it. Remember, she was the one in court who said she didn't know who Akademiks was, which I believe her. I don't think she knows who I am. She's probably just into law. I think she starts realizing, yo, Tory, based on what you've done online or based on the internet responding to Meg is 100% going to testify. And she's going to point at you. She's saying it on Instagram. I think she says to Tory, let's try to get a plea. That's the best chance. Smoking right now. I think Tory thinks about his career. I think Tory looks at it like this. If I take a plea, it's going to look in the eyes of hip hop, you shot the bitch. Okay, and I don't mean to call her bitch, but like, just, you shot her. Okay? Now, that is Chris Brown status, automatically. Right? Chris Brown took a plea. And it just, there's an implied meaning, you did it. Right? So his career, which at that time, getting blackballed, nobody wants to work with him, he's like, that's not the best situation. Secondly, immigration shit. All of the things that I believe they would have wanted him to plead guilty to carried a potential risk to being deported. That puts him into a bind as well. So not only your career gonna get clipped, you might get deported if you plead, even though that would be up to Sean Hawley to really structure this deal or structure this plea deal that protects him from being deported, which I think possibly could have been done. But I think Tory says, fuck a plea. I'm beating this case. By the way, I keep having to reiterate, this is no inside info. It's not from Tory. It's not from Tory's team. I'm watching all this happen. And even though, again, I've always told y'all the stuff I have heard from Tory. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Tory told me all that shit that definitely happened at the, what do you call it again? What's the people's, at the Kardashian crib. At least when he was there. You know what I mean? Which matched up with other stories that I heard from other people. I told somebody most famously, Tory told me the story of what happened. And he told me the story multiple times. And the whole story, he would tell me the whole thing. And then the moment when the incident happened, it just skips like, whoop, it just skips like a tape. Which, again, he never even told me like, oh, no one's arguing. It was just like, yeah, all right, then we leave. Then the cops came. I'm like, wait, hold on. How'd y'all leave the party? What about the shots fired? You know what I mean? And he's like, brother. You know what I mean? I'm like, all right, whatever. You know what I mean? Now, I don't think that's implying that he's guilty at all, just to be very clear. I think what that's implying is that, honestly, I always thought he was protecting someone. I promise y'all. I thought he was protecting someone. Tory's, like, talking to Tory, it felt like he was protecting someone. And he was protecting someone to the point that he wouldn't even tell nobody what the fuck, like, really happened. And I'm like, all right. Because I would say, yo, you know this is what they're saying online. And he was just like, brother, this is not what happened. And I'm like, well, nigga, so what happened? Never got it. Anyway. Yes? Okay. All right. So that's what I thought. Again, this is me. By the way, for anybody who takes this is nothing from Tory. This is literally, I'm giving my summation of this trial. I believe Sean Hawley wanted him to take a plea or try to get a plea. I think she looked at him like, brother, you're going to be cooked. I've been in these situations. Yes, you know me from the OJ team. Here's the thing. We got OJ off, but the chick was dead. You always hear they say, dead man tell no tales. The chick ain't, OJ's wife wasn't like, yo, nah, hell nah. What y'all talking about? Yeah, what you mean the glove don't fit? They must have quit. Nah, hell nah. I'm right here. He did it. Nobody can say it. Meg was going to say he did it, right? And a lot of legal experts that I've watched or talked to about this, they have all said, yo, I'm pretty sure his lawyers had to have warned him, if Meg testifies, no matter if she looks like a liar, a woman crying in court who got shot, she could lie about everything else. People have a million reasons to lie about everything else, whether she lied about y'all having sex, whether she lied about her and her friend fighting. But one thing people usually don't lie about is saying, you shot me. And a jury will sit there and listen to her lie 50 times about 50 different things But the moment they ask, Meg, who shot you? And she says, Tory Lanez, that's all the jury needed to hear. Which, again, these are people who are defense attorneys I'm talking to. So you got to think about the mindset of how a trial plays out and how the jury is affected by some of this stuff. They're seeing a lot of blood. They're seeing a lot of this. What the jury knows is she's shot. We see blood. We see whatever. Somebody must have did it. Who they're going to take the opinion of? The strongest? The person who got shot. So I believe that Sean Holly got let go from Tory's situation and case. And I think she probably realized it was going to be an uphill battle to try to win. I think Tory dug in, and by the look of the hire that he did, he hired another guy named George Medvin. George Medvin. Let me see if I can find. I'm fucking up his name. Tory Lanez, George, lawyer. Let me see. Okay. Here. This is him right here. By the way, I want to hear this guy's response to Tory. Because here's the thing. When the lawyer came out and says he didn't get fired. This is him right here. He didn't get fired. And he blamed the loss. He said he says it was mutual that he didn't take part in the appeal. He said, I didn't get fired. I'm still friends with them. But here's the thing that happened during this motion. The judge forced Tory's new lawyers to say, because they were trying to butter it up. They're like, well, they didn't say he was a bad lawyer, but they skipped around it by saying, after our first lawyer left, the new lawyer that came in didn't have time to prepare, blah, 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 da, 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 da. They weren't that familiar, blah, 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 blah. And the judge cornered them, which they had to admit because they're trying to get the judge to agree. The judge says, are you saying that Tory had ineffective counsel? I don't care what it is, whether he just came in, whether he's just a bad lawyer. Are you saying that? And they got it on record with Tory's new lawyers saying, yes, we're saying that. So essentially, that's Tory blaming the lawyer, right? Anyway, so Tory hires this guy. And I've talked to a few lawyers. Some really, really, really good lawyers. They're actually not lawyers, though, in California, but really good lawyers. This is what they told me. They said, Akademiks, there's always and by the way, I don't know this guy, and I'm not trying to disrespect him. I'm just telling you what other attorneys and multiple have said. They said there's always a guy like this in law. And I said, what do you mean? They said when you get a case, the hardest thing to do is tell your client, brother, maybe you really are innocent, but based on what they have as evidence and based on the fact that they have witnesses who are going to point you out, you're cooked. I can't work magic. I can't put some Houdini spell on the witness not to say your name. So we have to start to pursue a different angle. A lot of times people be like, nah, I don't want to hear that. They said there's always a guy who comes in and he's the guy who looks, he's this guy right here. Y'all know what I'm about to play, right? The guy from the RDC skit. The guy who sees the evidence in 4K that you are guilty as hell, and he says, oh, we gonna beat this. Illegal possession. And by the way, when I'm saying guilty, I'm talking about what the facts would lead a jury to conclude. Not saying nobody did it or not. Here we go. You ever seen this skit?
2 counts of capital murder. Illegal possession of guns. Illegal possession of cocaine. Illegal possession of meth. Why are you using meth?
I don't use meth, I move meth, nigga.
Oh, you move meth. You sure is right, because it says all that in your new song. Why would you say that in your new song?
You know, my new hit single, I just killed a nigga and I move drugs.
Why the fuck would you name your song, I just killed a nigga and I move drugs?
Because I really do that shit, I'm true to the streets. Can you get me off?
Not only did you do that, they got your ass on camera.
Niggas ain't got me on no fucking camera.
This is the clearest video I've ever seen. This is the most HD shit ever. This is 4K. How did they get you in 4K?
That ain't me.
Why did you do that? Why would you look? Nigga, you got the same fit on. Did you do this today? Did you do this today?
Man, can you get me off of what?
This nigga done did this today. You shot 3 niggas today and asked me, can I get you? Yes, I can.
On God.
Yes, I can get you off. It don't matter what you did. Really, I just want to show you what kind of trouble you was in.
Yeah.
I can get you off of anything. It don't matter.
Yep.
Come on, man. Hey, guess what? You might have to go to jail for like 2 weeks, but you got bail, right?
I moved drugs, nigga.
Come on, yes, that you will be back rapping in 2 weeks.
That's who they're saying this guy is. This guy probably met with Tory. Be like, they say what? Meg said she about to take the stand? They said they got what on what? Kelsey said, wait, no what interview? Wait, Tory. This is the jail call. They got you in CD quality. Is this a collect call? Tory like, nigga, could you get me off of this shit? Oh yeah, I get you off anything, nigga. I get you off anything. I was just trying to let you know what trouble you was in. That's that nigga right there. That's that nigga right there. That's that nigga right there. Yup. So they're saying he went in and he's like a pit bull. He go crazy. Except his strategies seem a little bit too aggressive. They felt he was a little bit harsh also with the witness, which by the way, he's a guy. The victim. Meg's a woman. She's balling up there. And yeah. So if you ask me, this guy takes the trial, blows trial. Tory's now convicted. Tory goes to get a whole new, tries to get 2 more new lawyers, and now they're trying to pick up the pieces. Again, they're saying Tory's at least facing 9. Shit. I think he's going to get maybe 9. I always thought it was going to be around 7, but I didn't know 9 was the minimum. So I think 9, maybe 10 or 11. Still wild, but shit. According to what the DA was saying, the judge could make certain type of amends based on certain facts that they want to include or not in how they're going to read, not necessarily the statute, but like what was found guilty of Tory doing. So yeah, it is what it is, man. It is what it is, my boy. It is what it is. Tory, I've I know some people who have talked to him. They do say he's in very good spirits. We've seen him post things through his social media, and he's also posted things through his lawyer. His new lawyer is the Baez law firm. No, it's Jose. Yeah, Baez. So these are his new lawyers, and yeah. You also got to realize, too, why Tory's also in a very interesting position. Like, because Tory's a celebrity, all of these, like, defense lawyers want to take this case to make their name. You got to imagine Sean Hawley, who was on the O.J. Simpson case, just off being on that case, they call that the Dream Team lawyers. You know she not about to go to no trial for you for less than $1 million. You should know that already. They're calling her, it's like calling somebody a dream team lawyer. It's like when you used to call people super producers. You know the fee's going to be heavy. So I do think some of these attorneys are trying to, if they're not already heavily regarded, they're going to take this case and maybe charge a little bit less. But they're gonna try to either get Tory out or beat whatever situation because shit, that would add to their reputation, you know? This is the dude. Let's see what he said recently.
I'm just curious if you'd had any earlier conversation and he wanted you for the trial and you just weren't available, or was this your first conversation?
I could never comment on something like that, but I will tell you, looking at this case, I certainly wish I had come in sooner as opposed to later. And unfortunately, this is the way it is. But he's got me now, and I'm certainly willing to give him everything I have. And hopefully we'll get the best result possible for him.
Has Tory talked to you? Does he?
That was when he just got sentenced. Let me see if they posted anything about him on else. No. Yeah, well, we'll see, man. Big Tory, we are praying for you. I know there's a lot of fans, a lot of people who love him so dearly. He's one of the super most talented individuals of, you know, our time, I think. By the way, I do hear that there's a lot of his peers were rooting for him. They have contacted him. People haven't switched up on him, but you know, people ain't, you know, they ain't gonna necessarily still jump out with their public, you know, support because now there's a verdict, right? And like before, we started seeing the momentum. Even Drake was just like, "Yo, you know what I mean? Meg lied," or whatever the case is, and that was kind of like almost like in support of Tory. The verdict came down, so it's like you just kind of look like an asshole if like even if Tory's your man's and you really do believe him, if you're still saying shit like that, you just look like an asshole. I mean, even 50 Cent came out and just said, "Yo, shit, I was wrong." You know what I mean? And 50 don't apologize for shit really, but 50 came out and apologized, which we'll see, man. Right? All right, people. All right. What else didn't I talk about? Hey, before I get into anything else,